Goa is not only known for its beautiful seashores and rich cultural heritage, it is also known for its diverse wetland ecosystems. Wetlands are the lands which are covered either by brackish or fresh water, either seasonally or permanently, forming a major ecosystem by themselves. As Goa receives plenty of rainfall annually, the rains that shower upon the tall hills of Western Ghats trickle down their slopes into rivers that converge to form the major river Mandavi and Zuari, which is responsible for supporting majority of the wetlands they connect to. As these rivers carry loads of nutrient material with them throughout their course, they form unique tidal mudflats at their confluence with the sea, which supports a large thriving population of many fishes and crustaceans. This, for example, is the tidal mudflat of Akshi, richly covered in a variety of marine life post-monsoons. These marine creatures act as an excellent food source which many migratory birds use for a quick snack before they head for their ongoing migratory journey. Thus, they are called as stopover sites for migratory birds, and these determine the sustenance of the crop. This bird, for example, is the bar-tailed godwit, known for being the only living creature that can make a non-stop flight of 13,000 kilometers. Here is another interesting migrant, the Terek sandpiper, which migrates from the Arctic tundra. These birds migrate thousands of kilometers to escape the harsh northern winters, and our wetlands provide a refueling station and rest to these exhausted birds. In the winter season, Goa welcomes many of such migratory birds that appear in flocks which range from a few individuals to literally thousands, occupying the mudflats and nearby regions. They stay together for collective safety as more eyes on the field help in warding off potential threats from predators. It also helps them in foraging. Some of them, like dunlins and sandpipers for example, choose to stay with plovers to take advantage of their vigilance. But safety doesn't come that easy. While the other birds of the flock feed or rest, the leader of the flock is always on his guard, scanning his surroundings for any potential danger. Not taking any chances, he raises an alarm, and the entire flock of plovers take off in a fraction of a second. And the chase begins. The hungry canine tries to keep up with the flock but fails. A narrow escape for the plovers indeed. Once again, the flock leader saves the day. As the coast clears up, a ghost crab peeps out of its hole. But to its bad luck, the white-throated kingfisher with its sharp eyes notices it immediately. He carefully approaches it, working in silence. And in no time, he manages to earn a delicious meal for himself, a crunchy one that too. Classic example of working in silence and letting your success make all the noise. The marine life of the wetlands are not only a favorite of the birds and animals that live here, but they are also a major part of the local human diet as well. Many of the locals come in tens and even hundreds to collect oysters, mussels and crabs here. They also catch fish using various techniques, such as nets which are hung on wooden poles which are called as khute in Kokani, that are placed at the mouth of a river to catch fish that flows with the water currents. Or such nets may be suspended with weights known as katai. Fishing has been practiced here for thousands of years and has evolved with availability of newer technologies. But with last few decades, things have changed. As Goa has become a tourism hub, demand for fish has increased dramatically. A part of this is met by imports from other states, but that doesn't really help given the large scale of seafood consumption here. This has added more pressure on the natural resources and has increased the competition between humans and wildlife, which has left more birds and animals with smaller territories and lesser food resources. For the surface feeding migrants, like the common sandpiper here for example, it doesn't always get what it orders for. After the monsoons, the strong river currents tend to wash ashore large waste articles over the beach. Different kinds of sacks, backpacks, bottles and even electronic waste can be seen here. These may ironically provide safety to smaller birds and marine creatures, but otherwise they lead to contamination of the shores, affecting health of birds and animals. They leak microplastics, heavy metals, and more, which can be dangerous not only for birds but also for humans who consume fish harvested from here. Sometimes even the fishermen may leave their nets behind for days at the beach. These pose a risk to the birds and animals, which may get entangled in them and die. But our diverse wetlands are not limited to just the tidal mudflats. In addition to mudflats, we have freshwater habitats formed along the coasts of rivers that cut through landmasses, creating new habitats wherever they go. These are not as influenced as the tides by those closer to the sea, such as the tidal mudflats, and they generally tend to have fresh water. Goa has a rich history of seaway navigation, and these rivers have been used for maritime navigation for centuries. They also form the jugular of the forests of Western Ghats, which is why they have been regarded as mother goddesses by the locals. Majority of the international trade in early times in Goa, including pre-Portuguese era, was possible due to these rivers and their tributaries. They also add to the scenic beauty of Goan landscape. Don't you agree? But the most interesting of the wetlands to me are the khazans. These are considered as lands reclaimed from mangrove estuarine wetlands, wherein the natural entry of water into the lands is limited and controlled by the use of dikes and bunds, which work by sluice gate mechanism. These are used for agriculture as well as fishing. And what's interesting about this is that they were first used 3000 years ago in the Neolithic period. Mangroves are directly linked to such khazans. The word mangrove comes from mangi, meaning bush in Taino language, owing to their short heights and clustered growths. The mangroves are extremely important for the ecosystem services that they provide. They are major sequesters of carbon, helping in the fight against climate change, and also help in mitigating the effect of floods and cyclones. Darwin's work on evolution can be well applied to mangroves, which show interesting adaptations that they have developed over millennia of evolution to withstand the harsh conditions they effortlessly thrive in. Some of these are the root adaptations like prop roots, split roots, which are used for support, or the breathing aerial roots called pneumatophores. Being far away from deeper waters, they also act as nursery for fishes, wherein the young fishes can reside till they are of a certain age where they can safely thrive in the deeper waters. Thus, the health of mangroves are also very important for sustenance of fisheries industries. Being abundant in fish and other food resource, mangroves attract large number of wetland birds too. Here are some cormorants seen nesting in the mangroves. The cormorants are adapted to live in the mangroves and swim in the water bodies to catch fish effortlessly. Many other birds such as ibis, egrets, herons, and even fruit bats, which are mammals, call mangroves their homes and can be seen settling in the canopies later in the evenings. Lakes, ponds, both natural and artificial, also form an important part of wetland ecosystems. Here you can see the migratory ruddy shelter, which is a bird revered in the Rig Vedas for its unique fidelity. Different bird species that live in these wetlands have developed adaptations to live here. For example, the Asian open-bill stork and the Eurasian spoonbills, which have long legs that help them wade in water. Health of our wetlands is thus crucial not only for you or me, but also for birds, animals, and plants that live and thrive in them. Thus, they are a bridge between our past and our future. Now it is left to us of what we make out of them. Will our coming generations enjoy the benefits of these beautiful wetlands? The answer lies in the hands of each one of us, and what we do to make a collective positive difference. Thanks for watching.